Today we're going to be working on creating our emotion collage cards. So I call them cards because I'm going to be making mine on index cards, but you can use larger or smaller paper if that's what you want to use. This is just like really easy and already a set size so that all of 5 of mine are be the same size. You can choose to have yours be different sizes, measure out paper so they're all the same size, entirely up to you. I have a bunch of other supplies here too, like I have some magazines, so I can cut some pictures out of. I have some glue and Mod Podge and tape. I have some scissors. I have random other materials, like I'm not really sure what this is. I think it's some kind of foam, but I have it. I have some random colors of paper here, and I have some playing cards, some leaves, and some little tiny picture frames because I thought they were cute. So whatever you want to use for your index cards, you can use them. I have some pictures already cut out so I could do it really fast, like this adorable dog. I don't know whose dog this is or what the dog's name is, but I love him. So it's entirely up to you. I think the easiest way to start is picking your emotions, or what I did was I went through the magazines and my materials and decided what emotions I want to do based on what materials I could find, what material and what emotions, what I found made me think of. So you could either figure out those emotions first, look through your materials and figure that out after. But because I tend to forget things, on the back of my cards, I'm going to write my emotions so that I remember, because I know I will forget. So here are my 5 index cards. I have all the emotions written on the back. Now, for your emotions, you don't actually have to tell anyone what emotions you chose. All you have to show is the front side where you decorate it. We are going to be doing a reflection afterwards, and if you want to write about there, you can, but at the same time, you can choose not to. You are the artist, and it's your choice how much you tell or do not tell about your work. So I'm not going to show you what words I wrote on the back of mine. You're just going to have to guess. I'm going to start working on laying out what I'm going to do. So if you don't have things like glue or tape or anything like that, for taking a picture, you can just pick your card, lay it down flat, and place things on top, and then take a picture of it, because it doesn't actually have to be glued down to have a picture taken of it. And if you don't have scissors, you can also do things like you can very carefully rip. So ways to carefully rip is to fold one direction like this. I use my nails a little bit to make sure it's a very straight edged fold. Fold the other direction. And then make sure that you have one finger, or if you're doing a really large tear, one hand on both sides. And then you very carefully just slowly rip. And sometimes it still decides to go in a direction you didn't want to. So that's just life. But you can very carefully rip like that. It can give you a very interesting texture, especially if you want something more chaotic or more spontaneous. So you can either very carefully cut things out, or you can rip them. Different textures will have different meanings. Think about the colors that you want to have for your cards. What colors do you associate with these emotions? Do I think of purple as something that's royal? Do I think of it as something that's joyful? Does it remind me of something sad? How does purple make me feel? So I'm going to set up my cards and get ready to start working on the different things to show you. For creating backgrounds for our collages, you can use scraps of paper like I'm doing here, which you can cut up, tear up, anything you want. You can use paints, colored pencils, markers, or you can leave them blank. For attaching them, this first one I'm using Mod Podge. You can also use glue sticks, you can use Elmer's glue, you can use tape, you can just set it down so that it looks nice to take a picture, but it doesn't actually, it's not actually stuck together. Basically any way you can think of to hold the pieces on or not hold the pieces on, it's entirely up to you. I'm gathering a few different pieces for my first one. I'm setting them up and trying to decide like how I want to put them before I glue anything down, so that if I want to move anything, I can still move it. And then I'm covering over them in the same Mod Podge, because then it creates like a seal on it, which is the great thing about Mod Podge. Can anyone guess the emotion I chose for this one? With the French fries, macarons, looks like some plants. Yeah, some plants, some rocks. You can also have things that are coming off of the page, like you can see like the leaf for the avocado leaf is going off of the page, same with some of the French fries. It doesn't have to stay within the borders, and you can also add things that make it larger, or make it, you can also cut off pieces to make it smaller. For the next one, I'm using pieces of tape rolled up onto the back to get them to stay down initially. And then I'm going to cover over them in tape again later and just create layers of tape and paper. I also folded the edges to create like a nice clean edge with the paper, instead of having like the torn bits off of the edges instead of trimming it. You can trim it, you can leave them there, it's entirely up to you. I'm also using pieces of sparkly foam here and a little tiny frame because I thought it was really cute. I also attached 3 playing cards to the back using tape, so everything on this one is just using tape. This one is my favorite one that I made. If you don't want to cut things out, or if you don't have scissors, or if you want to have that textured edge, you can tear things out. I'm using scissors for a lot of these things because I want a very clean edge, and then some things you can see me tearing because I want that feathered textured edge. Here I was sorting the different pieces so I could decide what I wanted to do, so I could get a plan before gluing anything down. You can see me placing the pieces. None of them are glued down yet, though. That was just me placing the pieces so I could get an idea of what I wanted. And then I realized I wanted a background, so I cut a piece of foam. So I want a blue background for that side to match the blue background of the words on the right side. And then you can see me adding words here. Some of the pieces have words, so if you want to include words, you can. You can also not include words. It's entirely up to you. This next piece is all words. So if you want, and you just want to like cut out pieces, you could make a poem. You could cut out pieces that relate to like the emotion that you're feeling. Anything that you want. There's some larger pieces of the magazines that I cut out that I wish I had used. I'm probably gonna use them for other collages. Like you can see the word cookies, and then there's like a really big picture of a dog. So I'm probably gonna make another collage about things that I like, or things that bring me joy. Here again, I was using the Mod Podge and the paintbrush. And then for the last one, I was using a mixture of pictures and words. You can see this one goes off of the edge, and I really want to keep that shape. I'm going to be showing Miss Gillette's wonderful collages. I'm going to be saying exactly the feeling of that she was feeling when she created each one, as she has them listed. This first one is dreamy, empowered, focused, grieving, lost, loved, protected, sorrowful, vibrant. Thank you so much, Miss Gillette, for letting me show your wonderful, wonderful collages. So all I have to do is create 5 different emotion cards. You can have them go off the page, you can attach them to the back, to the front. You can have it be both 3D. You can do more serious emotions. You can do happy emotions. You could just have a collage of things that you like this one. It's entirely up to you. And then when we're done, we're going to talk about like how you want to take pictures. So you could either put them up on the wall all together or one by one. You could lay them down on your desk and take pictures. Or like if you have like a scanner, you could scan them. It's entirely up to you. But we will go over that again when we're closer to finishing. So all I have to do is work on making collages.